everyone. The time to love is here. Let these troubled days be done. I tell you, come on, everybody. Come on, everyone. The time to love is here. Let these troubled days be done. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and this is Success at Suppertime. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for joining us. Kenya Crooks, thanks for joining us. The influential educator. Wow, what a great group tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is our Success at Suppertime. We do it Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And our topics are taken from our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success, which is available on all of the digital websites and on our own website, www.herbertharris.com. And our topic for today, this week, we are dealing with the law of change and the fact that you can change your life from whatever it is right now, good, bad, or indifferent. You know, if your life is going along great and you make some bad decisions, you can change for the worst. So the key is that you have the power to change your condition from whatever it is to whatever you want it to be. And the key to that is to change your thinking. Thank you so much, Kenya. Yes, so many people have bought the book. It's been so transformative. I tell you, I'm just glad that the good Lord, the Creator, saw fit to let me write it. And I'll call it we, because it was not me by myself. So we talked a bit about change yesterday, the fact that the key to making changes in your life is that there are like three key aspects. That you have to have faith that there's something better out there for you. You have to have choices. You choose how you want your life to go. You choose this day whom you will serve. And you have to have a deep desire for change. You know, there's an interesting principle, and it says, seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened. Ask and it shall be answered. But it doesn't say how long. And desire says you do it until you get it. You knock until the door is open. You seek until you find the answer. You ask until you get it. So tonight we're going to talk about some of the obstacles to change. If it is in your power to change your life by changing your thinking, why don't most people do it? Why are there so many people who are unhappy, unfulfilled, suffering? Well, one reason is because they refuse to change. They're sitting on the nail. And the nail is anything that's painful. It's anything that you don't want. It's anything that does not bring you joy. So many times we sit on the nail and it hurts, but it just does not hurt badly enough for us to change. So let's look at some of these obstacles, some of these things that keep you sitting on the nail. It may be the nail of mediocrity. It may be the nail of acceptance. It may be the nail of guilt. But whatever that nail is that you're sitting on, that is not where you want to be, that is not doing the things you want to do, is not being with the people you want to be with, that's a nail, and you got to get off that nail. So what stops people from changing? Well, the main obstacle to change is fear. Harlem, thanks for joining us. Fear, and I like to use the term fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. So what are some of the fears that keep you from changing, that keep you stuck where you are right now? Well, the first fear is the fear of change itself. Many times we talk in the past. We say we want to change. Like we can be in a relationship that's not pleasant, that does not bring us the type of love and upliftment that we desire, but we stay in it. So why do you stay in a relationship that's not fulfilling to you? Reverend Ike, many years ago, a lady said to Reverend Ike, she says, Reverend Ike, you know, my husband doesn't do this, he doesn't that, he doesn't open the door for me, you know, he'll let me sit and he doesn't like to do anything that I want to do. And so she says, Reverend Ike says to her, says, well, why don't you get rid of him? He's causing you pain. She said, well, Reverend, the devil I know is better than the devil I don't know. And so sometimes we fear change because we have a perspective, a negative perspective of what our life could be like if we changed. I've heard people say, man, I don't want to make a lot of money because rich people are unhappy. Number one, that's not true. Okay. And there's some rich people that are unhappy, but there's some poor people that are unhappy too. But sometimes people use that as a way to avoid getting off that nail of mediocrity, to avoid getting off that nail of acceptance. And when we fear change, it's often fear of the unknown. You know, in entrepreneurship, people will say, oh man, I want to make a lot of money. I want to get into a business for myself where there's no limitation on my operation. But then an opportunity comes along and they don't take advantage of it. And say, well, what is it? You know, you said you want to do something. You said you want to change. Why don't you do it? Well, the fear of change is like a fear of the unknown. I don't know if my life will be improved if I get into this business. And it's really a fear, an insecurity, that fear of change. It's an insecurity about your own potential. It may go back to your self-image, that you never see yourself as the victim, as the victor. You see yourself as the victim, right? Kenya says, I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini instead of on the bus. I hear you. One of my good friends said, you know, he was losing his house, you know, a multi-million-dollar house, and but he was moving away in a Rolls Royce with a what do you call it? One of those 16-wheelers filled with priceless antiques. He just had a cash flow problem for a minute. Right? So overcome the fear of change by having total faith that you deserve better, by having total faith that you are worthy of a good life, by having total faith that you attract anything to you that's good for you, that there are no limitations. Know that you're an eagle. You may have been raised by turkeys. You may never have flown to date, but deep inside there's that eagle nature. So overcome that fear of change by saying, I know that there's something better out there for me and I'm willing to go for it. The second fear that keeps you from changing is the fear of criticism. And the terrible thing about the fear of criticism is that it undermines your initiative. The fear of criticism is fatal to your personal achievement, and it literally encourages the development of inferiority complexes. See, when you fear the criticism of other people, it neutralizes you. It makes you fearful to take another chance, to take another step. It neutralizes you. But one of the key things to remember is this: to realize that all criticism is not harmful. Always consider the source of the criticism. If your desire is to make $1 million, then when a person who has made $1 million says, you know, you need to work a little harder. I see what you want to do, but if you want to accomplish this $1 million dream of yours, you're going to have to do A, B, C, and D. It worked for me, and I believe it will work for you. Consider that. But when you're out to make $1 million, you have a person who is unemployed, living in your basement. Now, I'm not knocking people. I'm just saying, consider the source of the criticism. People often see you through their own glasses of their own limitations. So when you say, I want to get rich, I want to be wealthy, I want to live the good life, there are many people say, oh, you can't do that. They're going to rip you off. It's not going to happen. And it's nothing to do with you. It's because they, the person doing the criticizing, can't see themselves live the good life, traveling, doing, and being what they desire. When this criticism is constructive, though, when it comes from someone who's been there, someone who's walked a mile in those moccasins that you're in right now. If you ever meet David who slew Goliath, and he tells you about giant killing, pay attention. You see what I'm saying? So choose who you will accept criticism from. And, you internally, you have a guidance system. If the criticism doesn't make you feel empowered, chances are run. There's something about people who've been where you're trying to go. When they give you criticism, it doesn't feel like criticism. It feels like education. And often they'll say it a different kind of way. I had a friend once, and he said, "Oh, that's not going to work." No matter what you told him, that's not going to work. Now, that may or may not be true, but just the way he said it put you off. But he could have said, you may want to consider this. Just giving another alternative. Now, that's something that can be constructive criticism, especially if that friend had been there already. So you overcome that fear of criticism by refusing to worry about what other people think, by refusing to worry about what other people say, by refusing to worry about what other people do. You see, success is often a lonely path. And when you're experiencing criticism, one good thing is this: people don't criticize losers. I've never seen somebody go out and see somebody who's absolutely broke and criticize their condition. "Oh man, you're broke like this because you're not trying hard enough." Okay. People don't take the time to criticize people who are not successful. Most of the criticism comes from somebody who wants to be where you are. So don't worry about criticism. When people are criticizing you, take that as a signal that you're doing something right. You can travel throughout history, and you will never find a statue erected to a critic. You'll find statues erected to the people who went for it, who struck another blow, who did another push-up, who ran another mile. The third fear that keeps you from changing is the fear of failure. The challenging thing about the fear of failure is it keeps you from trying. The fear of failure literally paralyzes you so that you don't even go for it. They were talking about Michael Jordan one time, and he was saying, he had a statistic, and he was saying how many times he missed that final ball, that final shot that would have won the game. It was thousands. There were many times he had missed the final shot that would have won the game. Now, there's some people that when they miss a few shots, you ever notice at the end of a basketball game, it's like 5 seconds, and instead of somebody shooting, everybody's passing the ball to the other guy because nobody wants to be the one who fails. But guess what? If you don't fail, if you're not able to operate with the possibility of failure, you will never achieve greatness. If it was easy, anybody could do it. So the fear of failure, it has so many ways. Sometimes it's internal, where it just manifests as a habit of procrastination. It's like you don't really acknowledge the fear of failure. You keep saying you're going to do it, you just don't do it now. The fear of failure should be looked at as just a dress rehearsal for success. When you look at failure, if you're failing at something, that means you're trying. And sooner or later, if you keep trying, if you don't give up, if you don't throw in the towel, sooner or later, you're going to hit it. I love basketball because you see a guy shoot 10 times and miss each time. Some folks, they're not taking another shot, but there are others who are going to shoot that ball no matter what. And that's where you must be. Do not fear failure, because failure is dress rehearsal for success. So let's just wrap up tonight. The obstacles to change. The main obstacle to change is fear. Fear of change, fear of criticism, and fear of failure. When you can overcome those fears, nothing. That went down the wrong way. Nothing is impossible. When you can overcome the fear of change, criticism, and a failure, then you can stretch out your eagle wings and fly to your dreams and fly to the sun, always knowing that the best is yet to come. Let's take a deep breath. So it is. I want to leave us with an affirmation. You say this affirmation: success is mine. Success is mine. You may want to write it in the chat. Write it in your consciousness, and throughout the day, say it. Success is mine. This is Dr. Herbert Harris with our Success at Suppertime. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, Kenya. Our message is taken from our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success, and I invite each and every one of you to please share this with at least 3 other people. Write some comments. Write some thoughts, things that you have done. Success is mine. Share it with other people. And please check out our New Youth for the New Year home study course. We've been getting some incredible reports back. You know, Dr. George Frazier said, hey, this is it. This will work for you. So check out the herbertharris.com, and you'll see a tab that says home study course. Click on it, check it out, get that home study course. Get your copy of the 12 Universal Laws of Success. Give yourself the tools to help you be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have whatever you want to have. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be here tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for Success at Suppertime. And tomorrow morning, Wednesday, every Wednesday morning, we do Wisdom Wednesday with Dr. J coming to you from Barbados. So check us out, 8 a.m., Wisdom Wednesday, 8 p.m., Success at Suppertime. All right, folks, let's sing it on out. I keep kind of wonder why everything seems so bad. So many sad faces gazing into space, waiting for somebody else to make the world a better place. Leave it up to the other man or to another day. If anything goes down, be looking the other way. Oh, I say, come on, everybody. Come on, everyone. The time to love is here. Let these troubled days be done. I tell you, come on, everybody. Come on, everyone. The time to love is here. Let these troubled days be done. Hey, folks, that's our song. The Time to Love is Here. It's on Spotify and iTunes by Dr. J, yours truly. See you tomorrow night. Success at Suppertime. And so it is.